Hello students, in this video I'm trying to give you some clues and some support for you to complete problem set number 1. Remember that I will not be giving you the answers to every question, but I will certainly be giving you some hints and clues using which you should be able to complete the problem set. So let's go to question number 1. A clinic received a 50-liter supply of medicine. So liter is a unit of volume. Each dose of the medicine is 5 milliliter. How many doses are available from the 50-liter? So the question is, how many doses of medicine can the clinic make from 50 liters? So for this, we need to know the conversion between milliliter and liter. The word milli stands for 1 by 1,000, which means 1,000 milliliters is 1 liter. 1,000 milliliters is 1 liter. As you can see there, 1,000 milliliters is 1 liter. And then the question also says 5 milliliters is 1 dose. So 1 dose is 5 milliliters. So that's why we put it as 1 dose over 5 milliliter. And then because we need to get milliliter cancelled out, we have to put this conversion in this way, where you have the milliliter on top and the liter in the denominator. So 1,000 milliliters is 1 liter, see that? And then since we need to get rid of the liters, you multiply it by 50 liters, which is what is the supply. So now you see that the milliliter gets cancelled out here, the liter gets cancelled out here, and you're left with just the number of doses. When you do the math, you get 10,000 doses. Okay, so the answer is you can make 10,000 doses using the supply. So conversion of units is very important. Now let's go to number 2. This is much simpler. 8 gallons of gasoline costs $26. How much does 1 liter cost? So you got gallons, which is a unit of volume, and you got liter, which is another unit of volume, and you need to know the conversion which is given here. 1 gallon is 3.79 liters. And since we need to get the cost, that means we're looking for the answer in dollars. So we start with $26. Just like, remember the first one, if you needed the answer in dose, you start with dose. So here you need the answer in dollars, so you start with $26 is the cost of 8 gallons. See that? And then since we need to get rid of gallons, use the conversion. 1 gallon is 3.79 liters, which means you will now get rid of gallons, both will get cancelled, and you're going to get the answer as so many dollars per liter. So do that math and you must get the answer. So that brings us to number 3. How many cubic feet are there in a room measuring 15 meter times 10 meter times 2 meter? Give your answer with 2 decimal places. 1 meter is 3.28 feet. That's given. So when you hear cubic feet, that's a unit of volume. And we can do this in 2 ways. And first, let's convert meter cube into feet cube, which is what I've done here. Meter cube into feet cube, okay? 1 meter cube means 1 meter times 1 meter times 1 meter. So which is 3.28 feet for every meter. And since you got to write it 3 times, I've multiplied the same thing 3 times. And you should get the answer in feet cubed. So now you know 1 meter cube is so many feet cube. Once you get that, you're ready to calculate the volume of the room in meter cube, which is simply multiplying the length, width, and the height. And you would get the number here. So you have your meter cube. So you have your meter cube, and you know that 1 meter cube is so many feet cube. So surely you should be able to convert this number into feet cube. So that part you have to do, and you have to show the work. You can't simply write the answer. Remember that. Number 4, a man weighs 220 pounds. So that's the unit of weight in America, but in the SI or the international system, we need to have the weight in kilograms. Okay, so kilograms, and we know the conversion. We must know the conversion. It's not given here, but we must know. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So knowing that, in one step you should be able to convert 220 pounds into kilograms. So I'm not showing that here. Just one step. I hope you will get that. Surely the answer is going to be less in kilograms. I mean less than 220, okay? And then another question, number 5. You are given some conversion equivalents. So 1 meter is 100 centimeter, 1 inch is 2.54 centimeter, and 1 feet is 12 inches. So now you got meter in centimeter, inches in centimeter, and feet in inches. So if a room has an area of 100 feet square, what is this area in meter square? So first what you can do is convert 1 feet square into meter square. Okay? You'll have to use the chain link conversion using what's given here. Set it up in the numerator and the denominator so that everything cancels out except meter square. Okay, so remember that 100 feet square should be written as, so the first step, 100 feet, I'm not writing it here, this will just go away, but 100 feet times 100 feet. So that will be your first step. 100 feet times 100 feet, because it's given as 100 feet square. And from there, you can change the feet into inches, the inches to centimeter, and the centimeter to meter, and then get it. Okay, I hope you're able to do that. Number 6 says, if the units of a quantity in the numerator, means what's on the top, and in the denominator are given. So in the numerator, you have meter per second. That means meter by second. And the denominator, you have second. What's the unit of the answer? Now, many times students think that the second will cancel out and you would get meter, which is incorrect. So if you look at it step by step, I've done it for you. Meter per second by second. Okay, that's the first step. And then when you write divided by second, you know that dividing any number by 1 does not change it. So in the next step, what I did is I just included divided by 1 here. Okay? And then you also know that when you divide two fractions, you can reverse or invert the second one and turn the division into multiplication. So that's what I did here. See? So instead of this division here, I have changed it to multiplication, but then I got to invert this. Okay, so instead of second by 1, you can see I put it as 1 by second. I hope that makes sense. And then you know what to do from there. I hope so. And you can give the answer. That's number 6. Going on to number 7. If the wavelength of a laser is 420 nanometer. So that's nano. How much is this in micrometers? So you got to know two conversions. One of them is given. Micro means 10 to the negative 6. So 1 micrometer is 10 to the negative 6 meter. Nano rhymes with 9. So nanometer is 10 to the negative 9 meter. Using these two, you should be able to convert the nanometer into micrometers. So how do you start? Again, I've not written it here, but you start with 420 nanometer. Okay, you start with that times, you can go with 1. You want it in micrometers, so everything should cancel except micrometers. So you can go 10 to the negative 9 nanometer. If you put 10 to the negative 9 nanometer there, it's going to be a problem. So you go into 1 or 10 to the negative 9 meter, rather 10 to the negative 9 meter divided by 1 nanometer. So you understand why we put the nanometer in the denominator? Because here you had what? 420 nanometer here, right? Okay, so now when you write it that way, you see that this nanometer will cancel out with this, right? So leaving you with meters. Now what you can do is continue the step and go times. You need micrometer on top. So you would put 1 micrometer, see that? Divided by 10 to the negative 6. And then you should be able to figure that out. Remember, I'm not giving you the answers per se. I'm just leading you because I want you to understand. All right, number 8. You're going to do this on your own, but I've given you all the conversions required. So there are 4 parts. The daily value for phosphorus is 800 milligram. And first you have to change it into grams. And I've given you the conversion. 1000 milligram is 1 gram. Then you have to change it to micrograms. Again, I've given you the conversion. So I've given you the conversion required for each one, and you have to do it in 4 parts. Number 9. An ambulance traveling to the nearest hospital travels 20 miles before arriving. 20 miles. How far did the ambulance travel in meters? So you need to change miles into meters. And here is the conversion for that first part. Second, you got to change it into kilometer, and here is the conversion. Third, you need to change it into feet. And I've given you the conversion. All right, brings us to the last question. If you are driving at 40 miles per hour, that's how you read it. So miles divided by hour, okay, 40 miles per hour. How much is this in meter per second? For that, you need 2 conversions. 1 mile is 1609.34 meter. You need that. And 1 hour is 3600 seconds. You got to be able to figure this out. And I hope, me giving you clues like this is helping you solve the problem set. Remember that the problem set accounts for 25% of the lab report grade. So if the lab report is 100 points, this would be 25. Okay, so it's actually a little less. It's because it's 25 to 125. So that's how it's going to be. So you'll have to turn in the problem sets with the lab reports. Okay, and I will be telling you more about where to turn it in and what to do, etc. in the welcome video. All right, thank you, and see you on the next one.